Cardano makes the move to the upside, right now testing critical resistance that we talked about the other day. The question on my mind today and the remainder of this week, can ADA break that resistance? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. There's the move. There's the Cardano move. That little pop to the upside. We're going to dig into exactly what has happened there. Before we do, everybody, you know this is not financial advice. This is the data. We're tracking it. We have a lot of historical data that's allowing us to just be ready. And I want to be ready for myself. And I just want us all to be prepared in general. So that's what these videos are all about. This is the weekly chart, everybody. Now, I mentioned in the intro now and for the remainder of this week, because in the video the other day, I don't know if you remember, but this candle on the weekly was red, right? It was red, and I believe it was below the 20-week moving average, that green line. So we have now 4 days, 9 hours left of this candle. And what I'm waiting for is to see how this weekly closes. I want to see Cardano begin getting separation from that 20-week moving average. But right now, as we start zooming in on the charts, guess what? Cardano is kind of grappling with the key area to get that separation. And right now, it has not given us that bullish confirmation just yet. So let's dig into that move. Let's talk about it real quick before we do, everybody. You're going to be hearing about iTrust Capital on this YouTube channel a little bit more. We finally have them on board as an official sponsor for Crypto Capital Venture. I use iTrust Capital. And when I'm bringing sponsors on board, this is the type of stuff that I'm looking at. Products that I use, products that are good, teams that are awesome. The #1 crypto IRA platform in America. So quick shout out to them. iTrust Capital, the world's largest crypto IRA platform with over $2 billion in transactions, tax-free trades within the IRA, everybody. So here's a list of all the cryptos. Of course, Cardano is on there. And they're doing this new thing right now. When you open an account, so first off, put your email in, confirm your email, dig in there, learn more about the platform. When you fund the account, they're doing $100 worth of BTC they're giving away to everybody that funds their account. So thank you, iTrust Capital, on board as a sponsor. We'll be talking more about them in coming days. And let's dig into it now. The daily chart. This is what it's all about, everybody. This is the resistance, the overview picture, the story, the roller coaster that we've been in since all-time high. We're talking about September 2nd, all-time high. It has been lower highs ever since, including today, another lower high. Doing technical analysis all throughout this entire environment has not been like the most pleasant thing. I'm probably like everybody out there that's watching this. I'm frustrated as well with Cardano. You know, I'm patient. I can be patient, but it's just kind of like you want that breakout if you're in crypto. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for those breakouts. And when we keep testing these lower high areas, testing this 50-day moving average and failing at it, testing this upper trend line and failing at it, it's like, come on. Especially now we're really at the apex of this descending triangle. So let's discuss why this is so important. It's important because #1, we have other cryptos moving. And #2, this descending triangle has a breakout target to the downside in the $1.30 to $1.40 range. So we have cryptos that have just been kind of doing work, right? But eventually you want it to be ADA's turn. I want it to be ADA's turn, because if it's not, and then we fall into this 1, 2, 3 week worth of downtrend, ADA's likely going to be on that ride with the rest of crypto, and this target becomes more likely scenario. But right now we're good, right? Cardano's good from what I'm seeing on the charts, and it's just one move away from breaking out of this resistance that we're in. So let's talk about that resistance. Let's visit a clip from 2 days ago real quick. I'm taking a Fibonacci and I'm looking for just a potential lower high resistance, and that is around 205 to around 211. So 205 to 211, that was one Fibonacci, and the Fibonacci was this last consolidation high before this drop off, if you remember when we charted it, and there it is. We made the move to that area. a lot of people, they're not fans of technical analysis. I don't know why. It really has nothing to do with me other than just being the person that's putting the data on the chart, tracking it, because these Fibonacci's, they play out so often, especially when confluent with other things. What we were talking about in this video was the fact that that Fibonacci, the lower high Fibonacci, that green rectangle, that 211 to 205 area that Cardano literally just saw resistance at, is confluent with this upper trend line of that descending triangle in yellow. Also confluent with the symmetrical triangle. So what we were talking about in the video was we got the perfect breakout, 73% to the apex of that white symmetrical triangle. We were talking about a pullback because pullback rates for symmetrical triangles are right around 65%, I believe. Let's see. 65% pullback rate based off of Bulkowski on the patternsite.com. So we use that data. It's not mine, but we use it because it's so reliable on these charts. So we got the pullback, and then what do we anticipate? Resistance at this. Look at the confluent resistance. It's unreal, right? Boom. Lower trend line in white of the symmetrical triangle. Upper trend line in yellow of the descending triangle. Fibonacci lower high resistance. A 3-point confluent resistance for Cardano. It doesn't mean that Cardano is going to fail here, but what we're seeing right now is kind of on the 6 hour at the very least, is this sideways action. Will it continue? Can we get the continuation to the upside of this bullish move for Cardano? I call it a bullish move, but at the end of the day, it's not that huge of a move. If I take the price range, I mean, from when it kind of escaped that lower trend line, we're looking at ultimate move of 10%, and right now up right around just above 5%. I want to do something because we're digging all into these short-term charts, right? We know the move that we're looking for. We know the resistance that we're watching for today. And this will be kind of that move. If we get it, if Cardano can break above this area, it'll be that move on the weekly that gives us the separation that we started talking about at the beginning of this video on the weekly. But here's the deal. When we're looking at the weekly, I just want to mention this. And this is kind of just, this isn't even so much technical analysis. I see a lot of comments out there, and Cardano's obviously been boring. It's been sideways. A lot of people getting frustrated. I see a lot of comments that are saying Cardano needs, right? ADA needs this, and then fill in the blank. So ADA needs Plutus application backend to move. ADA needs DEXs to be built and running for any type of move for Cardano. And I just want to say, that is completely not the way that I look at crypto. That's not the way I invest in crypto. And especially with Cardano, if you had like the foundation to like my investment thesis, right, for Cardano, it has nothing to do with those things. It is the culmination of those things. And it's these little building blocks along the way. But each little building block, for instance, Plutus application backend, that's one thing. That's not the charts, and ADA price going up, in my opinion, don't rely at all on those things. You have cryptos that move for absolutely no reason. There's nothing going on in the ecosystem. There's nothing really going on in terms of news. So sitting around waiting for these developments to happen and anticipating a move with those things, that's not the way to do it. Now, in terms of these hard forks and these green boxes, we definitely painted them into the story because those are big events surrounding the ultimate roadmap of Cardano, right? So, for instance, Alonzo hard fork, huge in terms of the story of Cardano, the Goguen era for Cardano, right? We have the Mary hard fork, the Shelley hard fork. Those were really big events. But these little building blocks within the longer term story of Cardano, I'm watching them. They're good for Cardano. They're good for the long-term trend, I think. But it's the culmination of all of these things. It's how early we are. And just the fact that the Plutus application backend isn't even here yet. DEXs aren't even here yet. That's where there's so much opportunity. The fact that Cardano is kind of so down right now, amidst all of these things actually being built right now, that's the opportunity. That's what intrigues me with Cardano. And that story, the unfolding of that story, the unfolding and the building of our patience within that story, it's not something that's going to end so quick because there's still so much building to be done. So because there's so much building to be done, there's so much more patience to be had. But that is exactly where the opportunity is, in my opinion. So I wanted to really speak on that a little bit. Yes, here we are. We're at resistance. Let's see what happens. To the downside, we watch. I mean, if Cardano is going to fail here at this resistance, like an epic fail, the downside, that 190 to $2 range for Cardano, can Cardano continue consolidating above that area? That's the support area, but we're looking for the break right here. I mean, really up to this 211 area, and you can see Cardano did not manage to do it just yet. Appreciate all of you cruising by. I really do. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How are you doing? Let's see what ADA does. Time will tell. Uh, really watching the 6 hour, really watching that weekly. It's a really important week, I think, on these charts as we're approaching this apex. So I appreciate all of you coming by. Have an awesome day out there. God bless.